2024년 3월 2일 5장 동굴 속의 죄수 2일차고만 이제 오늘 끝까지 볼 수 있겠지? 몇 챕터까지 했는지 모르겠지만 지난번에 섬에 있는 사람들이 폭풍우를 예측을 해냈다는 걸 알게 돼가지고 과연 어떻게 될지 변수가 있는데 그 변수 때문에 얘네가 틀어졌던 거였는데 과연 거슬러 오르는 배 효과가 빠른 약 방문 판매 페이지가 넘어가는 답안 현관에 발을 들어놓는 것을 거부한다. 섬지하 동굴.
Wait a second, just a second. Isn't this still the dungeon? Are you setting us up?
아직 던전 아니야?
All caves are interconnected. This is the way to our sacred place.
37, wait. I remember Sophia once told us that trespassing on the sacred place is a serious crime.
몰래 들어가는 거 안 되는 거 아니야?
No worries. The restrictions were to help us not be distracted by the unimportant details in life. It would not stop us from seeking the truth.
아르카나 있을 것 같다 어쩐지 가면은.
Oh, excellent. I will tell it to the Abraxas when it shows up.
뭐임? 레골루스가 갑자기 걸음을 멈췄다.
Hey, 37. Are you sure this is the right way? My heart just sank as if I took a bite of those overnight potato chips.
Are you scared?
쫄 그런 말 하지 마.
You wish. But when I was exploring underground with Lilia earlier,
이미 했었어?
we ran into some fog like this one. Oh, it doesn't bring you any wanted guess, mind you.
Maybe you were their target because you are an irrational number.
Oh, is that so? You integers will be fine then. Good luck. Don't beg this pirate for help later.
Hold there. Something is coming out.
와. 흔들거리는 기괴한 그림자가 비틀대며 다가왔다.
Rooster head with two snakes as its feet. Abraxas. That's weird. Why are they here?
They're coming for us.
Ha! What did
뭔가
I
있다.
say? Don't beg.
Regulus, prepare for battle.
Okay, I know. I was just teasing her.
레골루스가 휘파람을 불며 신나게 적진으로 달려들었다. 그 순간 손목에서 격렬한 통증이 느껴졌다. 석재 팔찌가 타는 듯한 열기를 발산하고 있었다. 설마
The stone bangle is activated. But they're just Abraxas. Regulus, wait for their attack. Do not kill them.
What kind of request is this?
Listen to me, Regulus. That's of prime importance.
Fine. If it is of prime importance, this pirate will try her best.
아르카나가 조종하는 건가? 위험하구만 이거.
Take thy sword. Duel with someone fair and square.
Sterilize.
Wow, huh?
Ha!
Don't worry. Let's have a cup of tea. Hey, you will be sorry.
Toes.
스턴 풀렸잖아.
Brave. Merci.
Wow,
Fight for the unarmed.
Pitch. Easy job.
이지야.
Hey, you will be sorry.
Dang, dang.
차례대로 스턴 걸리네.
Wear gloves.
Follow the will of gods.
Hi.
Whoops. An accident.
His trumpets sound. The judgment day hath come.
이 자식도 궁 쓰는데.
Sterilize.
Merci.
Oh, hi.
Fight
말
for
때린
the
놈
unarmed.
때린 놈이 해롱해롱 해지는구나.
Considering someone's physical condition, the investiture can be simplified.
그렇구만 그렇구만.
That's it. I still have 10 more songs to play.
These are not the same kind of Abraxas as we've encountered before. Do they have different varieties?
Wait, where is Miss 37?
없어졌어? 멀리서 메아리가 들려왔다.
Hey! Come on, keep up!
신났구만.
Did she just take off like that while we fought? Sneaky little. We should leave too, Vertin.
Wait a second, Regulus. Do you sense anything familiar in the fog?
그 미스 라디오 있던 섬에서 나오던 그 안개 아니야? 그 기지에
Uh-huh. You bet. This is the first guest room we were put in when we first entered the island.
No, Captain. This apple has the same strange feeling. We saw the rise of Ceres in the same kind of fog. And before that,
That's the same fog as in the Elitiao space.
맞아 오리티우 기지에서.
That is to say, this fog is the cause of our illusion to see the Ceres and the Abraxas' attack.
Don't rush to conclusions. Follow 37 first. Oh, and what's that series you were talking about?
수금지화 다음에 뭔가 올 뻔했다고. 안개가 점점 짙어지는데도 동굴의 벽은 갈수록 밝아졌다. 마치 보이지 않는 조명이 숨겨져 있는 것만 같았다.
I just picked up a piece of paper. Like this, just bent over and reached to the ground.
지금도 있어? 몸을 숙인 레골레스가 감에 의지해 어둠 속에서 빛나는 곳을 더듬었다. 그리고 정신을 차렸을 땐 어느새 예스러운 질감의 필사본 한 권을 손에 쥐고 있었다.
What book is it?
Oh, probably just some math problems left from the critter's breakfast. You never know. Wait, the compounds of alchemy. The 12 gates lead into the discovery of the Philosopher's Stone. This is that alchemy handbook given to Edward IV by George Ripley. Why is it here?
낚인 것 같은데 벌써?
look at this, Captain. Of the Great Stone of the Ancients by Basil Valentine. The 112 books by Geber. Emerald's Tablet in Latin.
근데 되게 녹음을 섬세하게 했다. 진짜 찾아서 보고 읽는 것 같네, 애플이.
Seems like there are more ancient texts about alchemy hidden inside the hole. But they are all incomplete.
So maybe I need to crack some more crossword puzzles to find out about this.
풀 필요가 없는데 지금 낚였죠?
Our caves endow people with wisdom. Our secret knowledge is hidden in the silent boulder walls.
어느새 37은 동굴 반대편에 서 있었다.
The knowledge in those books is just a drop in the ocean. Follow me, Regulus.
목소리 울리네. 책을 내려놓은 레골루스는 주저하는 기색을 보였다. 뭐지?
Vertin, you lot go ahead. Go with 37. I will meet you outside.
You want to read these books here?
The knowledge passed down through language can easily be distorted. Compared to the wisdom of a Perron, it's nothing.
No, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going back. Oh, all right, I might as well just admit that your cave indeed has the power to give people insights. If I follow its lead, perhaps I'll finally work out the answer about that little thing I've been carrying with me. Never thought that I'd find the answer here. Easy as picking up a shell on a beach.
그러니까 들어가지 않겠다. 걸음을 멈춘 37은 이해가 안 된다는 듯 고개를 갸우거렸다. 지금 약간 소피아랑 비슷한 상황이지. 소피아도 자기 숫자를 알려줬었는데 그거 병을 던졌었잖아. 안 본다고.
What? You don't want to get closer to the truth.
진리는 남이 손에 쥐어주는 게 아니란 거지. 자기가 스스로 찾아내야지.
Of course I do. And that's precisely why I don't want to get to it so easily. I don't want it to be fed into my brain.
맞아.
Come on, it's the ultimate truth that we're talking about. If someone just tells me the ending of Lord of the Flies before I enjoy the book, I will throw them into the sea as you people do.
진리를 스스로 찾아낼 테니 나에게 스포일러 하지 말아라. 그런 거고 뭐. 그 순간 그녀가 갑자기 웃음을 터뜨렸다.
I only met two people who reject the truth. So this is the mindset of irrational numbers. I see. Thank you for being my subject of observation, Regulus.
Hmm?
37은 몸을 돌려 발걸음을 옮겼다.
Go, Vertin. We have a long way ahead.
Be careful, Regulus.
Don't worry, I know this place well enough by now. After all, I've never been so welcomed in any other place ever. Critters, monsters, creatures with strange heads. Do you worse. This pirate is not afraid of you.
이상한 모습의 몬스터들이 캡틴의 길을 가로막고 있다. 더 많은 아브락사스. 뭐야? 기본 딜이 없잖아. 굳이 바꾸기 귀찮으니까.
Ah, Bangala!
What's this? Be serious. Move your legs. It seems to be mixed up. This should be fine, right? Bodyguards! Where are the bodyguards?
Easy lah.
Be serious. Move your legs.
Crickets and fireworks.
Go, go! That's Cradle. What's that? Be serious. Stay focused. Move your legs.
냐?
I tripled the ingredients this time.
Oh, great! Say hello!
이제 그녀는 안심하고 돌아갈 수 있다. 탐구자. 손을 내밀어. 우리는 이렇게 정답에 가까운 곳에 있어. 누구지? 저 검은 망토?
Up here on, the boundless, the beginning of all things. Everything originates from it and returns to it. Infinity has no start and no end. But nothing would come into existence if there's only infinity.
PB에 나온 거 아니야?
Everton. Now they are presenting in their true forms. In their purest and newest forms.
자부심 넘치는 지휘자처럼
Our
손을
world was born
뻗었다.
from the wounds on infinity. When it's cut by finity, the patterns of the cutting are what we call mathematics. Thus, the essences of numbers exist inside all beings, and the patterns of all numbers exist in all matters. The length of a butterfly's wings and its body are in golden ratio, and the plant leaves grow on their stems in the pattern of the Fibonacci spiral. This is the most primitive rhythm of Arcanum, and it is also the beginning of our extraordinary study. This is the essence.
본질이라.
And how do I submit my proof?
Close your eyes, Vertin. Only when your eyes are closed will your mind open up. Now, stay fully concentrated and recall the question you want to verify. Only in the absolute contemplation can truth reveal itself to you.
눈을 감는다. 영혼을 내달리며 힘들게 얻은 혜택을 기뻐한다. 그것은 더 높이 떠올라 더 멀리 내다본다. 영원히 돌고 도는 생의 수레바퀴에서 벗어나 쉴 새 없이 내달리는 시간의 강물 위를 뛰어넘는다. 처음은 무, 그 다음은 유, 처음은 하나, 그 다음은 둘, 그 다음은 셋. 점, 선, 면.
The storm, the emanation, the storm syndrome. Where are they from? Foundation, Manus Vindictae, Aperon. What roles do they play? Why does the storm fall when history trembles? Why doesn't the storm fall into the misty land? What is the ingredient of asymmetrical nuclide R?
이 자식 너무 T처럼 물어보는데? 지금까지의 단서가 모두 이곳에 모였다. 점을 이으면 선이 되고 선을 이으면 면이 되고 면을 이으면 망이 된다. 거대한 수수께끼의
The world
망이.
is a dark underground labyrinth. But Numa can guide us to go beyond all things and reach the exit. Vertin, can you see it?
진짜 보는 거 맞아?
I... It's burning!
석재 팔찌와 맞닿은 소매에서 닿은 듯한 감촉이 느껴졌다. 뭐야? 아르카나 뭐 하고 있는 거야 대체? 고요한 진리의 왕국은 순식간에 사라지고 무한한 혼란이 그 자리를 대신했다.
What's going on? Is somebody fighting with the Manus now? What's happening outside the cave?
여기서
Vertin,
뜨내려고?
why are you straying? The meditation goes beyond control. You will be thrown out of here. This would be a foolish mistake. The repair on this is...
예고도 없이 갑자기 그녀의 말이 울려 퍼졌다. 마치 촛불을 꺼트리는 바람처럼.
Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live. Including thee.
무슨 뜻이지? 어!
37! 37!
황홀한 광경은 모두 사라졌다. 차디찬 바위굴 깊은 곳, 재건의 손 신도가 미친 듯이 벽에 머리를 박고 있었다. 아. 그들의 발치에는 정신을 잃은 채 누워있는 37이 알 수 없는 잠꼬대를 하는 중이었다. 자해를 해서 날 깨웠네. 내 팔에 열이 오르게 해가지고. 돌로 된 유정만이 싸늘하게 이 모든 장면을 내려다보고 있었다.
What happened? Were all those illusions? If it weren't for the heat of the stone bangle that wakes me up, would I go as crazy as they did?
미쳐버린 거 맞아? 그냥 자해하는 중인 거 아니야?
This stone reminds me of the spinning wheel.
다행히 이 가죽 상자는 영적 인식과 추상의 미궁에서 잃어버리지 않았다. 잘 들고 다니네.
The collector of asymmetric nuclei are. If the reagent turns gold after reacting with the fog here, that means the fog contains elements that can be immune to the storm.
유리관 안에서 금색빛이 떠올랐다. 한 번도 일어난 적 없는 일이었다.
The color changed faster than I thought. The concentration of R is hundreds of times, no, thousands of times higher than in the Manas's masks. In other words, whoever owns this cave can produce the protective equipment of the storm in big numbers. Is that the reason why Arcana is here?
환각을 빼진 37이 몸을 뒤척였다.
Oh, Mother, our model hasn't failed.
일어나 이 녀석아.
Hasn't failed.
I need to take 37 out of here.
광기에 찬 수많은 형체가 그림자 속에서 나와 비틀거리며 길을 막았다.
So the Abraxas were people from the manors. The fog here can affect people's minds, like those around the lake in my suitcase.
손을 든다. 손목의 석재 팔찌에서 닿은 듯한 열기가 뿜어져 나왔다.
Have the manors found a way to launch attacks without being punished by the bangle? Or don't they care about the price they will be paying anymore?
이건 코앞에 닥친 위기로 인한 불가피한 방어다.
I hope Regulus didn't throw my words to the wind. I have to get rid of them first and go out to join the others.
벗어나서 합류하자. 벗어나서부터 해야 되는구만. 어우 뭐야. 어우 뭐야 속서.
A forest party! Let's have a party then!
Take thy sword. Duel with someone fair and square.
이미 체결된 계약은 파기할 수 없다.
The peace agreement no longer works. Or is it safe as long as the contracting parties have no intention to fight? The conditions are not clear. A reckless attack may lead to the punishment of the bangle. I have to be careful with the method and timing of attacking.
What's that? Be serious. Stay focused. Move your legs.
Bravo.
Ah, it seems to be mixed up. This should be fine, right?
녹아버렸는데. 아, 이게 뭐야?
Wait. The body is melting. It turns into a seed. So this is how the Manus fight against the restrictions. They sacrifice one man to feed another.
사기 계약 당했잖아 우리 지금. 사기 계약 당했잖아. 셔플.
What's this?
Be serious.
Merci.
Stay focused. Move your legs.
Ah, it seems to be mixed up. This should be fine, right?
Fight for the unarmed.
Not lightning.
The sacrificed follower has been absorbed by the seed. Is this some kind of ritual?
In no cave. One can see
잠꼬대 요란하게 하는.
of everything.
37? Can you hear me?
Mother.
What's that?
Be serious. Stay focused.
Wow.
Ah, it seems to be mixed up. This should be fine, right?
Don't worry. Let's have a cup of tea.
계속
The
먹이를
dead
먹고
followers
있는데.
turned into geometric symbols. Is it because of the cave? So the seed is the form of Manus Vindictae.
본질?
The forms transcend all matters.
오나? 변신! 그는
Things are not as
희생단자의
simple
힘을
as I
이어받을
thought.
것입니다.
I must make a plan and exercise great care.
Just like in the train.
Huh. Wow.
Oh, don't worry. I have prepared it all. I have prepared it all.
Whoops. An
첫
accident.
번째 놈은 아직도 스턴
Easy
걸리는구나.
job. My apologies. Don't beat me.
불가침 조는 뭐야? 불가침 조약 위반도 아니고.
Just a reminder.
Move your legs.
Watch your
Be
steps.
serious. Stay
Huh.
focused.
Mind the machines on the ground. Bang.
Say hello. That's Cradle.
불가침 조약.
What's this?
Wow.
Move your legs.
Huh.
Ah, it seems to be mixed up. This should be fine,
Whoops.
right?
An accident. Pitch. Easy job.
넘었다. 변신하나?
Hey,
Bodyguards!
you will be sorry.
Where are the bodyguards? Ah! What's that? I know what this is.
정산하고
Be serious.
Brave.
Be focused.
합쳐두고.
The ingredient store owner said it was very effective. Please believe me.
아니 자힐도? 이거
Fight
실화야?
for the unarmed.
안 때렸는데 자힐도 포함이 된단 말이냐?
Bodyguards! Where are the bodyguards? I know what this is.
Just like in the train.
Merci. Brave.
This is the gift, well prepared for you.
Form of Manus Vindictae. It's more distorted than I thought. It's all over.
I would like to express my deepest regret for the accidents.
검은 침략자. 바다를 가린 자, 구름을 삼킨 자가 무거운 발걸음으로 다가온다. 아르카나겠지 아마.
Vertin, finally! The manor suddenly emerged everywhere like ants. Lilia and I couldn't take them all down. I would have acted sooner if you hadn't told me not to pick fights.
잘했구나 그래도. 릴리아가 미친듯이 고함치며 달려드는 신도를 바닥에 때려 눕혔다. 신도는 부들부들 사지를 떨더니 곧 완전히 말라 비틀어졌다.
Bleen, all they want is to attack, even if their blood will be sucked out. Insane! Back when we were spying on them, I told Sanetta to screw the peace agreement through the radio. I knew those geometry cycles and the Manus would go mad sooner or later.
눈치 빨라.
They were not that crazy when they were solving the math problems. There! What the hell happened down there?
The cave is the key to be immune to the storm. There is a cave on this island, which has the same effect as my suitcase. That's what the Manus are after.
이것만일까 근데? 약간 1차원적인 것 같은데?
What?
But hasn't she also put on the stone bangle? Even if she can break free from that bangle, there is no way she'd let her followers keep carrying out suicide attacks. And if she has signed that peace agreement, how will she take the cave from a Byron?
Vertin.
등에 엎혀있던 37이 눈을 떴다. 없구나 내가. 그녀는 손가락으로 저 먼 하늘을 가리켰다. 영원하고 초월적인 저 하늘 위로 이상하리만치 밝은 별이 줄지어 있었다.
What's that?
설마? 한없이 고요한 전도자의 강당. 방문객이 오래된 책장을 넘기는 소리만이 울려 퍼졌다.
I'm afraid you have overstayed your welcome, Ms. Arcana. I have to regrettably remind you not to overstep the boundaries,
침략자야
despite the
그
great help
녀석은.
you've given to us.
I take not thought for needless disputes.
실컷 일으키고 있는데 이미.
But to ask a simple question.
그녀는 조용히 책장을 덮었다.
The great philosophers. Ye seek the ancient wisdom, follow the sage's teaching, and pursue the noble virtues. You are separated from the world for thousands of years. And you have not gained the human's understanding, nor have you sought for it. I find pleasure in this allegory of the cave. However, hath this been unto thee? That who led us to the exile in this cave.
누가 우리를 동굴로 추방했나. 반짝이는 별은 계속해서 다가왔다. 아, 그 모습이 마치 둥지로 돌아가려는 제비처럼 질서정연했다.
What are they? I've never seen these before. Why are
습격이야.
they here? These things should not appear on this island.
미쳤어.
No! 37 no!
영원히 회귀하던 해류가 끊겨버렸다. 침묵을 지키는 저 바다 위에서 새카만 군함 한 척이 파도를 가르며 섬을 향해 다가오고 있었다. 아, 뺏으려고
Soneto,
총력전 하는구나.
did you bring the humans' army here?
우리겠냐고. 아니. 미친. 여기서 끊는다고 스토리를? 여기서 끊는다고? 지금 섬이 습격당했는데 메인 스토리 여기서 끊는다고? 맙소사. 이런 제자. 또 꺼져. 와, 근데 이게 여기서 끊어버림으로써 이게 약간 스토리 라인을 보면은 당연히 위에 비행기도 아래에서 들어오는 배도 다 재건이겠다라고, 재건 이놈들이 쳐들어왔구나라고 생각을 하겠는데 막상 확정이 된 건 아무것도 없잖아. 그래가지고 비행기만 재건이고 아래에서 들어오는 배는 재단 쪽 배일 수도 있어. 아니면은 진짜 둘 다 재건 쪽 배일 수도 있는 거고. 모르는 거야. 이걸 여기서 끝낸다고? 다음 편 언제 줄 건데 이 자식들아. 다음 편 언제 줄 건데 여기서 끊어버리고. 아, 근데 한 24, 25까지 있을 줄 알았는데 여기서 뚝 끊어져 버리네.
Be serious. Move your legs.
예.
It seems to be mixed up. It should be fine, right? Say hello. Bodyguards! Where are the bodyguards? What's this? Be serious. Stay focused. Copy that. It seems to be mixed up. It should be fine, right? What's that? Move your legs.
합쳐져라 얘들아.
It seems to be mixed up. It should be fine, right?
It's a tough one, boss.
Be serious. Move your legs.
Crackers and fireworks.
That's Cradle.
크흐흐흐. 여기서 끊다니 제작. 이거 열렸네. 특별편. 외전인가 여기는? 그 시각 소더비에는 점점점 이런 건가 여기는? 잠깐, 이것도 이어서 봐야겠는데 이거 스토리네. 흰 오리는 머리와 귀를 흔들며 국화를 단 새를 찾았다. 별. 달콤한 만남. 누가 달려 도서관에서.
Wow. So this is the library in Burton School. So many people here. They're probably around my age.
녹색 드레스 차림의 소녀가 제1방어선 학교 도서관 안으로 볼짝 뛰어들어왔다. 소녀의 발랄한 목소리는 마치 지집에 매실 새 없이 노래하는 잠새 같았다.
We've also got this many shelves in the library of Sotheby's Manor. Are there any alchemy workshops and potion warehouses here, like in our manor?
꼬마 숙녀는 까치발을 하고 호기심 가득한 눈으로 주변을 살폈다.
Where can I find Miss Bueniche? Madame Z told me to come here, but she didn't give any other clues. The people here really need Mr. Teacatler, who is always nice and warm to the guests. Just twist his teapot ear, then he can take you anywhere.
티캐틀러. 잔을 드는 사람 말하는 건가?
If
Oh,
not
where's the
so,
phone?
placing a luck-a-day potion at the entrance would help as well. If I had made it before I came, Miss Bueniche and I might have met by now. Or she will just pop up behind me. Are you looking for me? Oh my word!
엉뚱한 마트에다가
Oops, that was too loud. Where are my manners?
소더비는 얼른 치맛자락의 주름을 매만지더니 진짜 숙녀처럼 마틸다를 향해 살짝 손을 내밀었다.
Nice to meet you. Are you Miss Bueniche?
학교 유니폼 차림에 호감형 인물이 도도하게 고개를 끄덕였다. 아무래도 맞는 것 같다. 지금 이 순간이 역사적인 첫 만남이 될지도 모르겠다.
That's fantastic. How did you find me? Did you see me in the Oneiromancy? Or through a crystal orb? Either way, it is the great arcanum. I'm much greater than that. Look at you, dressed as if you'd just been to a ball. You are as eye-catching as the pigment poured on a sketch. I saw you the moment I came into the library. A ball. Does the foundation hold balls too?
말이 그렇다는 거지.
No, I'm saying... Est-ce que tous les amis de Vertine parlent comme ça? Never mind. Madame Z told me you wanted to look up the materials on the mysterious school that believes in numbers here. That's right. Miss Moissant told me she will thoroughly check the documents in the Foundation archive. So I'll go through the books in the SPDM library. If we can find anything about that school, we can be of more help to Vertin and her team. I'm sorry, Miss Sotheby, but I'm afraid the situation is going to disappoint you. While you spend the last hour looking for Teacatler's ear, the kind-hearted monitor assistant already gained the valuable access to the library. But I haven't found any record regarding the mysterious school that believes in numbers yet.
마른 하늘의 날벼락 같은 소리였다. 아 근데 밀교하니까 갑자기 퇴마를 읽고 싶네. 거기서 참 많이 나왔는데 말이야. 그런
There
거.
are so many books here that they can cover the entire back of a Stronsay beast. That's a bit exaggerated, but she's right. Nevertheless, the librarian was transferred to a more important position years ago due to the storm. Many old books are not yet sorted. Some even went missing in the chaos. The only relevant materials I could find are the stories of Pythagoras and some books on mathematical theorems.
그거야 바로.
I don't think they have anything to do with Vertine's issue.
그거야 바로 그 녀석들은 콩을 먹지 않는다고. 부하닉 씨는 마치 안개처럼 흐릿한 눈동자를 마주했다.
That means I can't do anything to help them. Please stop being emotional. It doesn't work on this professional member of the Foundation.
마틸다는 얼른 시선을 돌리며 어른스러운 척 목을 가다듬었다.
Without field investigation permission, I can't take you out to collect information. But in fact, there is still another reference room only known to the most outstanding monitor assistant. Hooray!
책을 읽고 있던 학생이 못마땅한 시선으로 쳐다봤다.
It's a violation to make noises in the library! Please follow me, Miss Sotheby.
오, 꽤 길게 진행되는데 한 편이. 높이 솟은 서가, 낯선 환경, 쉽지 않은 임무. 소녀들은 생기 넘치는 물고기처럼 도서관 안을 누비고 다녔다.
Thank you so much, Miss Buanish. You mentioned ball. I haven't heard that word for a very long time. I remember what Mr. Carson, my butler, had taught me. He said, express your gratitude to fair ladies by holding a grand ball.
성대모사 한 거야 지금?
I'll write to my father and ask for a brand new, unsinkable and maneuverable rock and roll park. I'm sure he will gladly say yes.
Maneuverable rock and roll park?
Yes. We can hold a twist ball on it when Burton and her team are back.
Please allow me to say no. The monitor assistant of SPDM will never participate in such an inelegant activity.
신나게 춤춰보자고 왜.
Wait, did you just say Burton and her team?
그녀도 오겠지 마틸다에.
We can talk about the ball later. The kind-hearted Matilda Buanish will try her best to help you with the task. But, of course, it's only out of her sense of responsibility, not for some personal reasons.
숙녀들의 발걸음이 점점 빨라졌다. 그리고 마침내 두 사람은 목적지에 도착했다. 오, 어디야? 훗날 필요한 조각을 시대에 꿰맞춰 주기 위해, 당장 중요하지 않은 서류와 보고서를 보관하기 위해 사람들은 그것을 작은 상자처럼 만들고 회백색으로 벽을 칠했다. 어쩌면 오랫동안 이어질 이 끔찍한 시간을 이렇게 부를 수 있을지도 모르겠다. 역사의 주석.
Here we are. The reference room storing unnecessary information. It's a place ignored by most staff. Even so, this careful, reliable monitor assistant will not let go of any details.
그녀는 살짝 녹이 쓴 철문을 힘차게 두드렸다.
I hereby officially appoint you as the Chief Assistant of Monitor Assistant of SPDM. I will take my responsibility and teach you how to become a devoted Foundation member.
마틸다가 캐비닛을 덮어둔 커버를 끌어내렸다. 그러자 먼지가 사방으로 날렸다.
Here is your first task. Read through these unsorted old files. All of them.
규율 보조교사가 먼지를 뒤덮이고 누렇게 변색된 서류를 꺼냈다.
I have searched all the archived ones. These are the last parts. Most of them are discarded administrative documents, low-priority materials, and substandard reports written by rookie investigators. By the way, you should know I didn't sort any of them out for you, and they don't necessarily have what you want.
하지만 있을 수도 있다는 거지 뭔가.
It's all right. Leave them to me. I love reading.
You'd better do. Here's the key. Keep it safe. You can sit on the cushions there when you sort out the files. I don't want your dress to stain the stone bench. I'll go see if I missed any files. Listen, this monitor assistant will test you on your familiarity with these files when she's back.
이 자식 빼는구만. 실시간으로.
Double check completed. Looks like I didn't miss any relevant files. Phew, quite a long day. I doubt if that spoiled lady can finish all the materials. She must have been bored and fallen asleep, waiting for her tea kettler in the dream. It takes much more than dancing at balls to be a Foundation investigator. I'll send her back to that teacher when she wakes up. In the end, it will be the kind-hearted Matilda who finishes the task for her. Being a great monitor assistant comes with great responsibility.
막상 가보면은 이것저것 다 해놨을 것 같은데 소더비 의외로가 아니고 잘 교육받은 똑똑한 아가씨니까. 마틸다가 자료실 문을 슬며시 열었다. 그런데 놀랍게도 누군가 마틸다를 열렬히 맞이했다.
Miss Boenish!
소더비가 서류 뭉치를 들고 기운 넘치게 자리에서 일어났다. 바닥에서 읽고 있던 자료가 여기저기 널려 있고 다 읽은 건 책장 구석에 가지런히 놓여 있었다.
You didn't fall asleep. Did you sort out these files?
유능하니까 말이지.
Yes. And I love these books in uncommon shapes. There are so many wonderful stories. I often read books with Sasana when father wasn't at home. We read and read until the red bomb waves woke up the sun. Moreover, these files are much easier than Miss Moisson's reading to us.
가정교사가 엄하게 키웠구만.
Here, the gentleman from River Conway tamed a whole group of our banks. How marvelous is that? Oh, okay. Looks like you meet the basic requirements for being a rookie investigator. Tu es plus ou moins qualifié pour être mon assistante en chef.
일조수가 더 유능한 거 아닙니까? 승려는 규율 보조 교사가 뭐라고 중얼거리든 안중에도 없었다. 그저 자신이 발견한 걸 알리기에 바빴다.
And I also found this interesting report. It tells a lot about the storm and the numbers. Will this be helpful to Burton? Show it to me.
소더비가 누렇게 바랜 종이 뭉치를 건넸다. 찢어진 거였네. 뭐지? 보고서는 앞부분이 없었지만 거기에 적힌 글씨는 깔끔하고도 반듯했다. 기록자의 빈틈없는 성격이 보이는 듯했다.
I have to say, it is undoubtedly a violation to submit such a report, but it will be a travesty of the truth and human sense if I cover it up.
뭐야, 왜 이렇게 거창해?
Peace,
sense, justice. They have always been the creeds in my heart, and are now the reason why I have decided to write down the whole thing.
누구 목소리지?
A long time has passed since the first attack of the most severe crisis in our time, but we are still wondering,
이마저도
what on earth
아방가르드.
does it mean? That was the eve of the millennium, of which no one had any memories, illogically. The next day, time was already reversed to 1996, the moment we opened our eyes. We walked out of the building made of grey and white marble as usual, hardly aware that the sun we bathed in was from another time. Our survival was unexpected and almost unbelievable in such a calamity which swept the globe.
첫 폭풍우가 진짜 예상치도 못하게 다가왔나 보구나. 우연히 건물 안에 있었기 때문에 살아남았고.
Why did the headquarters of the Foundation survive the reverse? Why couldn't we find our younger selves in the outside world? Did any other region survive it as we did?
이래서 그건가? 앞에 스토리 때 그런 얘기가 나왔던 것 같은데 초반에 폭풍우 초반에 재단 밖에 있던 주요 인력들이 다 폭풍에 휩쓸려가지고 중요한 인력들이 많이 죽었다고 막 그렇게 얘기가 나왔던 것 같은데.
I didn't know, nor did anyone else. Things remained unclear until time was reversed again. This time, we all witnessed that reign in the 80s.
These files Burton needs?
I think so.
뒷부분은 그녀의 목소리가 살짝 떨렸다. 언제나 침착함을 자랑하던 규율 보조 교사가 이토록 당황하는 건 드문 일이었다.
It's a report written by someone who witnessed the storm. And it has recorded the storms before Burton became the timekeeper.
버틴이 타임키퍼가 되기 전의 기록이라. 다음 화에 계속. 흠뻑 젖은 과학. 뭐지? 갑자기 끔찍할 정도로 쏟아지는 비가 온 후 당신은 냉정을 유지하기 어렵다. 그 시각 재단에서는
Before she became the timekeeper? Whoa. So Vertin wasn't born a timekeeper. She didn't tell you that? Wait, no one is born a timekeeper. It's not an inherited title.
그것도 그래.
Anyway, this report includes the secret chronology only accessible to the core members of the Foundation. You can only check it under the supervision of the monitor assistant before you become a qualified investigator.
마틸다가 조심스럽게 서리봉투 위에 면지를 털었다.
No matter what the reason is, it shouldn't have been shoved in this dusty room like rubbish.
처박혀 있던 이유가 있지 않을까 근데?
To evaluate its authenticity and risk, the genius Mathilda Boiniche will fulfill her duty as the monitor assistant and carry out a thorough inspection of this report. If you agree to this resolution, please nod, Assistant Sotheby.
온통 알아듣지 못할 말들 뿐이었지만 다행히 숙녀는 이미 마음의 결정을 내린 뒤였다.
Yes.
오.
That was 1985. A gloomy, miserable night compared to that peaceful morning in 1996 when we were only bothered by confusion. We didn't expect time to be reversed again, nor did we understand the consequence. Even now, I still remember Paulina's desperate cry. One of her hens was already inside the safe area when she fell at the entrance to the headquarters. And that was the only part of her left to us the next second. The only legacies we found were an engagement ring on that hand and her favorite blue polka dot scarf, which we used to wrap her remains in the end. To be honest, I admired those who still remained calm and sympathized with the arcanists on the edge of mental breakdown. It had nothing to do with the 1/4 arcanist blood in my body. It was only the kind of empathy which all mankind would share out of instinct in the face of a hopeless calamity. We lost many, too many colleagues. In the materials they sent back, we even saw all the horrifying phenomena, such as one's veins turning into electric wires. Since then, the storm, a word simply taken from visual observation, has been used to refer to the calamity. Of course, we can have a word for the calamity itself. But what words should we use to conclude all the absurdity and panic? Before the storm, we were all familiar with time. It was supposed to be a straight line connecting the past and the future. We followed the line to move forward. We broke free from ignorance. We built civilizations. We developed technologies. We promoted the well-being of mankind. And we improved our living conditions step by step. We were so sure that we were making progress on the right path. But then, the path was taken away all of a sudden.
시간은 앞으로만 가야 하는데 말이지. 이게 갑자기 뒤로 가기 시작하면.
Oh, time. Our closest old friend, where are you taking us? Back to the two most painful war times in the 20th century? The era when no one had ever heard the hiss of steam engines, or the century when mankind was yet to be enlightened. So far, mankind has achieved a lot in history. Dynamos, automobiles, flyovers, railways, hospitals, poorhouses. But if it goes on like this, what is the... Now we are like a shipwreck left on the island of time, witnessing the fall of the whole modern world in the unstoppable tsunami. Even though the Foundation has lost a lot of staff members, they are still doing fine compared to Laplace. My younger brother was a good example. He was the most sensible person I have ever known. On the first day of the second reverse, he told me
뭐지? 약간
in a
플레이어블처럼
calm
생겼는데?
At least we have reaffirmed that Newton was right. There was never an arrow of time in classical mechanics. neither in relativity nor quantum mechanics. That means this is absolutely normal. Whether the time goes backwards or forwards, even if it starts spinning around like a tabletop football player, they're not against the law of physics. We can go back in time and give Poincaré a medal of great profit.
The next day, he almost fell off the 6th floor due to excessive drinking. All the perceptions of time and space developed to this day were overthrown. We couldn't find any theories to explain the storm in any existing researches. There could only be two reasons for this
진리를
situation.
찾던 사람들이 절망해버렸구만.
Either we've been completely wrong all the time, or we've come to a brand new world. And this new world can never make sense in the way of science, or that of physics. It cannot be verified by an independent third party, and it is impossible to be comprehended through reasoning. Is it true that we have been going the wrong way? Is it true that those once proven wrong by history, those arcanists who claim to possess gnosis, are actually on the right path?
그러니까 재단은 원래 인간 중 그 비마도학자 중심의 기관이었지.
In fact, the one who put an end to the chaos was indeed not a human. This thing, I had no idea what it was. It claimed to be a machine which never stops working. It laughed at the limitations of our brains and the metaphysical mistakes we make ceaselessly. But it did solve the most urgent issue. A system was built to tackle storm-relevant emergencies after it took charge of Laplace. The first measure it adopted was contacting all the existing branches of the foundations at the time to confirm the scale of available manpower. Then it built observation stations all over the globe to find if there were any other regions immune to the storm. After that, numerous offices responsible for deducing the cause of the storm were established. Even though there were countless disagreements during the research, at least we had taken the first step.
누굴까? 약간 웨버먼 씨 같은데? 갑자기 나타난 백마탄 초인 같은 존재가.
I handed in the application to take part in this mission, determined to get rid of the fog in my mind. In 1986, I was assigned to the office in Egypt. All my friends came to the dock to see me off. Because we knew it could be the final goodbye. Even though we were equipped with the emergency communication devices issued by Laplace, we were still not clear when the storm would assault us, or where we could hide nearby. What really scared me was not the threat to my life, but the possibility of dying ignorant.
아무것도 모른 채 죽는 게 두려울 뿐.
Then I boarded the ship to Alexandria from Athens. And that was when I met her. Now when I recall it, it was almost impossible to ignore that group of arcanists on the ship. There were about a dozen of them, all in eccentric stitched robes. They were followers of a strange school which mixes arcanum and mathematics.
37 어머니 아니야 이게?
I talked to them. No matter how much that conversation bewilders me now, I was more excited than confused at the time. They also survived the storm in 1996, and they noticed the unusual changes taking place in the world as well.
섬 밖으로 나왔었잖아. 37 어머니하고 소피아 아버지하고.
That means I actually met another group of survivors.
또 다른 시간 남들을 만난 거다. 페이지를 넘기던 손가락이 갑자기 멈췄다.
Wait! A school of arcanists who survived the storm?
이렇게만 들으면 뭔가 재건 같기도 하네. 근데 폭풍우를 피할 수 있는 마도학자물이라고. 바벨탑. 오, 옷에 삼각형 달고 있구만. 대부분의 경우 말이 통하지 않는 것은 사람 사이의 가장 사소한 장애일 뿐이다.
A mixture of arcanum and mathematics. The ship on the Mediterranean. Unbelievable. Our investigator actually met this group of arcanists who believed in numbers and even left such a precious record down on paper.
아, 보는구나.
Does it mean we are close to being helpful to Virgin?
규율 보조 교사의 제1조수도 환호했다.
Certainly. It's what we deserve for all the efforts today. But why did they leave such an important report in the reference room storing unnecessary information? Did they misput it here after the chaos of the storm?
마틸다는 당혹스러운 마음을 접어두고 기록의 다음 페이지를 펼쳤다.
Among them, the most easygoing one was Hugh. He was an engineer as well as an arcanist. We shared the same preference for human technology, and that became our common topic. Hugh was in his 30s, red-haired, cheeks sunken, and deeply depressed due to some kind of eye disease. He was a decent man, with a prudent attitude, working at a desk most of the time. He reminded me of the imperial miniature painting artists in the Sultan's palace. Most of them ended up blind after toiling for their life. He showed me the picture of his daughter. I don't have children, but I could feel his happiness as a father.
얘는 어떻게 됐어?
Although I got along well with Hugh, he seemed quite out of place among that group.
아! 이 애가 소피아구나. 빨간 머리.
Which was actually led by her. I don't know what words to use to describe her. She was like a meteor shower, a tempest, or an unreasonable catastrophe itself. Her existence was just like her name. It was simple, yet implied a lot. Please forgive me for my cowardice. Even now, I don't have the courage to write down her name. If one would call that a name.
그것도 이름이라고 할 수 있다면 말이다.
In fact, she was quite a kind of warm-hearted person. Among all the unregistered arcanists I've met, she was one of the nicest ones towards the Foundation. She looked young, even though I heard she had a daughter too. Besides, she still possessed the innocence of a child, and that kind of excitement exclusive for genius. That's right. It seemed the whole world was like a sparkling toy to her. Our communication was heart-stirring at the beginning. Both of us were eager to find out what was happening, like two shipwrecked victims grappling at each other on the sea. But I didn't have the slightest idea what she was talking about, actually.
전혀 알아들 수 없었다.
The problem was not the typical communication issues between humans and arcanists. I was sure the language we used didn't pose any obstacles, but still I couldn't understand any words of hers. I would believe that one is highly intelligent if one can name all the factors of 11,567 without thinking. But what this one said was illogical nonsense which no one could ever imagine.
밖에서 보면 이렇게 보이지. 걔네는 자기들 규칙에 따라서 하는 거니까. 그래서 앞에서 재판했던 것도 완전히 그냥 약간 현대인의 눈으로 보기에는 말도 안 되는 궤변을 그냥 주고받는 걸로밖에 안 보였잖아.
She claimed that there is a world of numbers above all else.
종교적인 교리가 너무 뚜렷하게 자리 잡고 있어가지고 얘네 지금
absolute, unchangeable ideas, and that the physical world where the time flows is nothing but an appendage, which has never been real or true. And that's why the chaos in this world is not worth any attention, and we should focus on what happened to the supreme existence. What an utter disaster combining modern maths with ancient superstition. I saw another hubristic
현대 수학과 고대 미신의 끔찍한
by reliving
혼종이었다.
Platonism. I don't even bother to mention the balderdash on soul numbers. even the New Age movement could use some of her absurdity. But that was not yet the end. She even claimed to be aware of the exact year when the next reverse would happen. But when I asked her about it seriously, she said,
My apologies. I've made an oath. I shall and only shall reveal the demonstration to people who have their own soul numbers.
근데 실제로 숫자를 맞췄지. 숫자 맞추고 재건이 개입해가지고 그거를 흐트러뜨리기 전까지는 쭉 맞췄었지 얘네가. 폭풍우가 언제 올지.
I'm not sure whether she was making fun of me or being serious, but I had this feeling that she was eager to tell me how she was granted the secret through a moment of afflatus. It seemed she just saw through the laws behind all things instead of finding them through logical deduction.
Can't you see it? It is right in front of you.
After I expressed my inability to comprehend her words 30 times, she finally gave up and proffered regrets. I'd rather take it as a new kind of humiliation. What really irritated me about her, however, was her contempt towards science and all the scientific research methods. As far as I'm concerned, the value of a theory lies in its reliability, universality, and generalizability. Our pursuit of the truth has laid the foundation of modern science, allowing us to change the world. Yet, in her eyes, the value of a theory lies in its beauty.
Beauty.
I talked to her on the current situation, and I told her how we would save lives and preserve the hard-earned technology of mankind if we could find the pattern of the storm. It was of course not an easy thing to do and would take enormous manpower, so I asked her sincerely to join the foundation.
문제는 현상 세계의 부스러기에 관심이 없지
Yet again
얘네들이.
she responded with contempt. She believed they would only become another military squad of the Foundations.
Darling, maths are beautiful for their uselessness.
순수 수학이 아름다운 건 전혀 쓸모가 없기 때문이야.
That's why it remains noble and graceful in this sordid world, despite you humans' reckless action of using it to calculate ballistic.
She turned down my invitation and left an unfairly negative comment on our storm observation project.
The observation stations you built are destined to be toppled because their basis is the fragile world that follows the laws of physics. The efforts you've made are like nails on a sand beach, which will only be carried away by the next tidal wave.
But I said, perhaps our efforts are in vain, but someone has to do it. We will try every corner of the beach before making the conclusions that the world we are living in is already a hopeless ruin.
What a pragmatic, rigorous, and rational speech. But dear, the world is a hopeless ruin.
The conversation ended in disagreement. I don't know why arcanists hate the world so much. Perhaps the reason is they have never been truly
마도학자의
accepted.
증오라기보다는 근데
To this day, I still remember her venomous conclusion.
섬에서 오래 묵은 그런
The world built on past experiences has ended. In your words, which you used to mock us, why not embrace the reality?
Yet about the gnosis which she deeply believed in, and the so-called prophecies she made through numbers, she had never given any proofs or details that showed rigorous logic. And the reason for her inactions was an oath she had made before some stone?
금원의 맹세.
Therefore I believed her words were only the nonsense of a lunatic. When we first met, I thought she was different from all those psychos, who mistook the malfunction of their prefrontal cortex as the will of God. But they turned out to be the same.
결국 이렇게 되어버렸다.
In the name of human sense, I swore everything she said was absurd and ridiculous to me. Until...
그날이구나. 얘네가 말했던 그 날에 진짜 폭풍우가 왔구나. 아직 재건이 개입하기 전일 테니까.
Madame Z said the arcanists on that island are all named after numbers because they have a strong belief that numbers are the essence of their souls. The investigator wouldn't write down her name. Is it because of the conflict between their beliefs?
마치 학생이 몰래 교실로 들고 들어온 소설을 검사하듯 마틸다가 얼른 다음 페이지를 펼쳤다. 하지만 현실은 그녀의 기대를 저버렸다. 아, 설마 찢어져 있던 그 부분?
That's all?
갑자기 끝나버린 모험 이야기에 물거품이 되어버린 기쁨에 규율 보조교사는 초조한 듯 손수건을 움켜쥐었다.
Submitting such an unfinished report would only cause problems for the reviewers and evaluators. But this investigator didn't even write down their name.
Don't worry, Miss Burnish. I'm familiar with this situation. Every time after the brave Typhon defeats Jupiter, he returns to the Auto Island. But each time we twist the ear of Mr. Glassbox, Typhon will show up again and again. Ms. Moisson told me the ear is the key to bringing back our hope.
Hope?
Wait, don't tell me you are talking about the shows on the mechanical television?
의욕 넘치는 숙녀는 규율 보조교사의 물음에도 아랑곳하지 않고 희망의 귀를 찾는 듯 주변을 두리번거렸다.
Stop, Miss Sotheby. Please, take a seat on the cushion and listen to me carefully. This is a detailed report written by a formal investigator of the Foundations, not some TV show full of cliffhangers. That means we will definitely find the rest somewhere.
누가 가져갔을 수도 있고.
I see. Must be a Coco-treant who took away the other part of the book. Usually, they will be attracted by Luna Fixer, and by following their traces, we'll find their lairs in the stable.
You mean someone took it away? That's highly possible. Data loss is not allowed in the Foundation, especially under the Monitor Assistance Management.
We must prepare Luna Fixer. Don't forget their favorite jigging magical beans. I don't have those materials with me right now, but I can write to them. It only takes a month.
근엄한 규율 보조교사는 어디로 튈지 모르는 이 대화를 더 참아줄 수 없었다.
Nuh-uh, we don't need that.
심호흡한 마틸다는 이내 결연하게 수정구를 꺼냈다. 반드시 찾고야 말겠다는 듯 마틸다의 얼굴에 단호한 미소가 떠올랐다.
You've perfectly accomplished the task from me when you found this valuable report. Well done, Assistant Sotheby. Now it's time for the great Matilda to show a little bit of her greatness.
눈썹 봐. 눈썹 봐. 자신감에 가득 차 있구만 이 녀석. 과연 오늘의 점수. 정답이 밝혀지기 전 당신은 수많은 위대한 점수글사를 만날 수 있다. 라플라스 연구센터. 당연하게도 대낮엔 달빛이 비치지 않는다. 하지만 태양의 점괘를 물으면 안 된다는 법이라도 있던가?
Judging from the omen, it's at the northwest, the beginning and the ending of the ring, where the wall reflects repeatedly.
마틸다는 조심스럽게 수정구를 들고 그 안에 보이는 흐릿한 광경을 해석했다. 소더비가 호기심 가득한 표정으로 그 뒤를 따랐다.
The northwest of SPDM. This one is straightforward. The beginning and the ending of the ring is not a problem either. The icon of the computing center is exactly the Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail. Here we are. But where the wall reflects repeatedly, does that mean a closed room with mirrors? The mirror in the display center is a huge kinescope in the wall. And the one in the airtight laboratory is a crystal clear observation window.
어디 있을까?
The one in the rehab center? No. The mirrors in the operation room have been replaced with curved electronic screens
거부
of steel
철골 구조의 전자
structure
스크린으로.
after that Xenopilot made a scene. So, where is the answer?
마틸다는 수정구에 비친 모습이 더 선명해지도록 한 바퀴 빙 돌았다. 그 순간 새하얀 뭔가가 옆으로 쌩 하고 지나가는 바람에 하마터면 수정구를 떨어뜨릴 뻔했다. 조심해!
You just hit me! Shouldn't you apologize?
Where did you come from, dork? Wasting my time.
마틸다와 부딪힐 뻔한 남자는 욕만 퍼붓고는 입과 코를 가린 채 빠르게 가버렸다. 뭐지?
What? How could he say that? That's rude! That gentleman doesn't look well. He's covering his face. His nose is running with purple liquid. Oh dear. Did he drink a whole bottle of purple Chrysandra juice? He needs treatment immediately. Oh, if only I had brought the Phoenix heart nerves with me.
피닉스를 봉황이라고 해놨네. 그냥 피닉스라고 하지.
He ran towards the rehab center. Nothing to worry about. Just another patient trying to prove he has recovered.
다급해 보이던 이도 어느새 사라지고 이쪽에 소란을 눈치챈 사람도 없는 듯했다.
The rehab center has all the facilities and medicines he needs. He will be properly treated. But why is he wearing the uniform of Laplace? And where's the receptionist here?
다 어디로 간 거야? 연구센터 로비는 조용하기만 했다. 뭐지? 언제나 바쁘던 프런트엔 사람 그림자도 보이지 않고 은색빛이 번쩍거리는 자동인증 장치만 자리를 지키고 있었다. 습격인가?
Does everyone go to the weekend party night?
어디서 파티 추금기라도 찾으려는 듯 임시조사원이 사방을 기웃거렸다.
Absolutely not. The researchers here are too busy to do that. The computing center is working on the most urgent and vital project, the research on the immunity to the storm. We should not disturb them unless it's an emergency. So please stop calling the office and put down the telephone, Miss Sotheby. This is not the ear of a tea kettler, and it won't take you to any twist balls.
손발이 안 맞는 파트너의 규율 보조 교사도 어느새 인내심이 바닥나 버렸다.
Je sais qu'il est débutante, mais quand même, elle est trop bizarre. Guide new members with caution and patience. Trigger the afflatus at the right time. J'avoue que Verten a remporté une victoire temporaire sur ça.
그 순간 뒤에서 들려오는 신난 발걸음 소리에 마틸다의 투덜거림이 멈췄다.
Miss Boonish, I just read the map on the counter. You mentioned where the wall reflects repeatedly. Does the vision refer to the racquetball center here? You see, its icon is a bouncing ball.
튕겨나오는 공이잖아. 그야 공을 치니까. 하지만 이런 상징이 중요하지 예언에서.
Let me take a look.
아, 병실이잖아.
Found it. This is really the right direction. Next, empty boxes, glasswares, and copper pieces. Looks like our destination has piles of metal.
수정구의 기온이 점점 선명해지고 있다는 건 이들이 정확한 방향으로 가고 있다는 뜻이었다. 이에 따라 규율보조 교사의 기분도 좋아지고 있었다.
Good job, Assistant Sotheby. I have to say, I might have gone a bit too hard on you. You are more capable than I thought. Thanks to your prompt reminder, we have saved quite some time. Sotheby is glad to help.
꼬마 숙녀는 옆에서 폴짝폴짝 뛰며 궁금한 듯 마틸다의 수정구에서 시선을 떼지 못했다.
Miss Boonish, since you're such a talented diviner, why don't you just divine the reason for the storm with your inherited arcanum ability? According to Ms. Moisson, the reason still remains a mystery. If the crystal orb can reveal its truth, everything will be much easier for Vertin and her team.
됐으면 진작에 했겠지.
the reason for the storm?
생각지도 못한 단어의 위대한 점술사는 비틀거리다 손에서 수정구를 놓칠 뻔했다.
That's impossible for sure. It's a typical mistake of laymen to believe one can see everything through divination. You are an expert on potions and arcane creatures, but you have little knowledge on other subjects. Haven't you received any systematic education on arcanum?
편향된 지식.
Education on arcanum? I'm of course well educated in arcanum, with Ms. Moisel as my tutor, and my arcane friends such as Typhon from the Auto Island, Jupiter, and... Alright,
Enough. 마틸다가 고개를 저으며 아무도 들어본 적 없는 미스테리한 동물 학명을 계속 읊으려는 소더비를 막았다.
I have understood the fact that the education you have received is not systematical, or say incomplete, imperfect, inelegant. But don't worry, because you are talking to the kind-hearted Matilda. She will spend her valuable time to make it up for you.
목을 가다듬은 훌륭한 보조교사는 12살 때 들었던 수업 내용을 떠올리기 시작했다.
In fact, the system of arcanum knowledge is not completely separated from that of human science. For example, the modern pharmacy and chemistry actually originated from the experiments of potions and alchemy in the ancient times. They developed into two different systems because arcanists focused more on the knowledge ignored by scientists, which is gnosis. The knowledge we learn from divination is exactly under this category. Wow!
오, 초롱초롱. 흥분한 소더비가 눈을 크게 떴다. 노트를 꺼낸 마틸다는 그럴듯하게 뭔가를 그렸다. 오.
Let me fill you in with more details. If two human researchers test Snell's law at two different places at the same time without making any mistakes, they will always reach the same conclusion. Or if two potionists use the same ingredients and follow the same formula to make the cough cough stop stop potion separately, their products will also have similar effects. However, if two diviners respectively perform divination on the same thing, they will probably see totally different visions.
확정된 미래가 아니고 가능성의 일부를 훔쳐보는 거라서 그런가? 무수한 그게 있으니까.
Because what the divination shows is merely omens. The interpretation of these omens is in fact a kind of subjective deduction based on the reality, and there is no such thing as a standard answer. Even if the two diviners draw the same conclusion, it is more of a coincidence than a result that implies generalizability. So diviners never check the accuracy of their divination through the review of peers. And this is an example of gnosis. Unlike human sense, it is unique and possesses no universality.
어디에든 다 적용할 수 있는 1 더하기 1은 2라고 딱 답이 나오는 그런 학문이 아니라는 거구만. 영적 인식이라는 게. 노트를 덮은 마틸다는 소더비에게 손가락을 흔들며 말했다.
In other words, even if someone finds out a reason for the storm through divination, they can't have other diviners verify it, because 100 different diviners will give out 100 different conclusions. The scene will be even busier than a concert at Musikverein. That being said, the more possible result we get from the divination is nothing. Divination cannot bring knowledge which the diviners have never learned. The divination of such world-class knowledge, as complicated as the reason for the storm, can only be performed by world-class diviners. We may find one or two diviners like that if time continues to be reversed, like Nostradamus. But he lived in the 16th century.
엄청 돌아가야 되잖아.
Besides, even Nostradamus is not always right. But Miss Boaniche is. Thanks to your divination, we're getting closer and closer to that report, right? You are right! Finding items, interpreting dreams, and making simple prophecies. All these things are just a breeze for the bright and clever Matilda. But
But,
inquiring about the storm is beyond my ability, and it will only bring misfortune. I will never make such a stupid mistake.
마틸다의 표정이 다시 의기양양해졌다.
In fact, this half of the report and the handwriting of the author are perfect divination media.
이게 있어서 더 점술이 쉽게 돌아간다는 거구나.
Besides, our target is not far away from us, and I'm familiar with the surroundings, which have made things much easier than usual. It is true diviners can improve the accuracy and controllability of their gnosis by practicing repeatedly, holding the rituals properly, and making targeted preparations. But that still doesn't mean the result will be absolutely accurate.
소더비는 아는 듯 모르는 듯 고개를 끄덕였다. 마틸다는 수정구의 기운을 읽으며 소더비와 함께 잽싸게 모퉁이를 돌았다.
The report says that person who mentioned the School of Numbers claimed she was enlightened about the year of the next storm. Is that also by divination?
I am not sure what kind of arcane skills they used, but numbers are indeed a kind of omen too. I am not talking about the specific knowledge of mathematics, but the numbers themselves, because they are even more abstract than images and languages as kind of symbol.
사가 불길하다 뭐 이런 거랑 비슷한 건가?
Even so, there is no way for us to verify this prophet unless it really comes true. That is also why it takes almost nothing to spread a prophecy. My mother told me many people in the outside world write to the Foundation every day, claiming to be prophets who can predict the doomsday and thus requesting unemployment benefits.
The Tuesday. Unemployment benefits? Oh my! The outside world is far more wonderful than I thought. How fascinating! This Boanish is even greater than I expected.
You bet! Wait, did you mean I was not the greatest?
오, 어느새 복도의 끝에 도착했다. 수정거를 집어넣은 마틸다는 문패 없는 나무문 앞에 섰다. 스쿼시 센터의 옆방, 이곳이 바로 전조에서 가리키는 최종 목적지였다.
Here we are, Miss Sotheby. Now, this is the moment to verify the result of my divination.
그녀는 살며시 문을 열었다. 다음 아이께서 오 뭐야 소라? 마지막에
If you look at the ground after the rain, you can often see a wet, long trail, like this one. At the end of the trail, there may be a snail slowly crawling forward. Yes, forward. The snail marks the direction for us. But what if we don't see any snails at either end? How are we going to distinguish the direction to the future from that to the past?
정보가 더 필요해.
Criterion. Well said, darling. To figure something out, you always need to make deductions based on facts and logical reasoning. What you see is not necessarily true, but what is logical is, because we haven't witnessed or experienced anything illogical so far. If something like that actually happens, it must be because we are too ignorant to understand it for the moment. This point was firmly believed by those researchers who worked in the house like canned sardines. It remained true to them until the first drop of rain rose. The sardines suddenly found that the knowledge they possessed couldn't support the point anymore. The can was opened, revealing a completely different thinking pattern to them. Whatever they used to mend the can, there was still a crevice left between the inside and the outside, and it could be ripped open again at any time.
그 다음에는
the chaos didn't last. If it really was the rain that swept away the snail and messed up time, then we should look at the silver lining. Does it mean we will find out the truth of time once the secret of the rain is revealed? There has never been a shortcut like this one, since time is only an intangible concept. So then, observation stations were built all over the globe. The staff learned how to collect and keep the valuable samples efficiently in no time. The little boxes they used to store the raindrops are still being upgraded even now. Order and silence were brought back to the labs. Every piece of gear was placed back on the right track. It was a grand feat, and no one could have accomplished it inside this huge, cumbersome machine except another machine. She took no sides and sought only predictable results. That's why she made a decision as soon as she read that report and its attachment on her desk. The former was about a delicate component which flapped like a butterfly in that huge machine. And the latter was a piece of paper full of circles and dots. Then she stored the information on her hard disk and destroyed the report. And the paper which claimed to have recorded the locations where the storm might happen, yes, the one with the butterfly-like drawings, was retained for data comparison. It seems she's satisfied with the result.
침묵의 애도. 보이지 않는 손을 높이 들면 별 하나를 쉽게 딸 수 있다. 실내는 어두컴컴했다. 내부는 파일 캐비닛과 문서 그리고 라플라스의 기괴한 장치들로 가득했으며 그 모습은 마치 아무도 사용하지 않는 창고처럼 보였다.
Where are we? Lost and found of the racquetball center?
마틸다가 사방의 먼지를 휘휘 저으며 당장이라도 넘어질 듯한 캐비닛으로 힘겹게 걸음을 옮겼다. 난리 났구만 내부가.
The orb showed copper pieces. We need to find something that seems to be locked, but is actually not. Aha! Found it! Nothing can stop the genius, Matilda.
그녀는 녹슨 서랍에서 익숙한 필체를 발견했다. 이 기록은 오래전부터 여기 있었던 것 같다. 종이 모서리가 전부 습기를 먹고 말려 있었지만 다행히 글씨는 또렷하게 알아볼 수 있었다. 오.
The trip to Egypt didn't go
이어지는 부분
smoothly.
찾았구먼.
The ship was hit by a common storm at sea. We were lost in the fog after that, completely off course. Then something emerged from the water. Since the first storm, the Foundation has received frequent sightings of arcane creatures which should have been extinct in history. I had no idea what I was shooting at, even after I emptied the clip. And I didn't know what to do, so the arcanists brought us back on course. She names the precise longitude and latitude of our location, even without using the sextant in the spare cabin. I wonder how she did that. Perhaps the world did look different in her eyes. Then when I was about to step on a random plank on the ship, she suddenly dragged me back. I thought it was only an inappropriate joke. But the next second, the plank broke. I was stunned, and asked her how she saw that coming. She just answered me as if we were talking about the weather.
Because that plank is deformed like a rhombus.
무섭다.
I was confused. Where is the rhombus? She laughed.
The rhombus can't be seen with eyes. You shall close your eyes, hearken to the teaching of the Supreme Existence, and seize the moment of afflatus.
Of course, I didn't see anything. Nor did I understand what the moment of afflatus was. Perhaps it's just another privilege enjoyed by arcanists, just like their right to be lunatic. Nevertheless, she reached the correct conclusion in a completely wrong way. Is it really possible? Anyway, she saved my life. But that was not enough to settle the differences between us. She remained rejective to working with the Foundation, and I finally gave up on the attempt to persuade them. My mission on that trip was not to make contact with them. Besides, what we needed was builders of the storm observation system, not some liars who would only make things worse. As for the shelter they took from the storm, she wouldn't say a word, as if she were dealing with a spy who pried to find out the deepest secrets of the Arcanists. In the end, Hugh mediated between us. He gave me an address in Istanbul to which I could send the letters to contact them. After that, I spent more than half a year in the Egypt office. Things were even worse there than I expected. Some have gone missing after the storm. The people who were supposed to be in the Egypt office, according to the member list stored in the headquarters in 1985, were not there when I arrived. The situation could be caused by the limitations of the transmission of paper-based materials, or because the computer was not yet popularized to every corner of the globe at the time. One minor mistake of a copyist could develop into a huge difference. Besides that, the chaos inside Laplace was an even worse issue. I learned that someone published the paper Samplings of Global and Regional Chaotic Energy Route Changes in the name of Butterfly of Lorentz. Apparently they secretly used our sampling sites, yet their research direction and conclusion were radically different from Laplace's. The researchers equally divided into two schools, one sticking to the human technologies they have focused on, and one changing their direction to Arcanum. At the time, it was still too early to decide which direction was right, without sufficient experimental data. But many already believed that if time continued to be reversed, human technology would only keep falling into decline, while Arcanum, which relies on personal ability, would rise again. It's true that Gnosis cannot be copied, verified by an independent third party, or comprehended through reasoning. Its nature decides that it cannot lay the foundation of science or be popularized to every ordinary person. It takes solid marble to build a castle, not slippery sand. Even so, what harm will it do to rely on Arcanum when the underlying logic of all things has become unreasonable? Before the disagreement was settled, the storm in 1987 was predicted. We were ordered to return to the headquarters 24 hours before its arrival. But the prediction was not accomplished by Laplace. A captive from Manus Vindictae names the precise date of that storm.
재건의 손 쪽에서는 연구를 해냈던 거네.
Our enemies, those lunatic xenophobes, valuing only pure blood, made it further than we did.
훨씬 앞서 있던 거다.
Yes, we built observation stations, we made countless deductions, we developed multiple simulation models. We made efforts, we sacrificed life. We did whatever we could. Yet the result was that we didn't find any other regions immune to the storm, except the headquarters and another one in North America. In the end, 95% of the branch members were reversed. 87.9% of the equipment was destroyed, and 100% of our predictions failed.
이래서 초기에 피해가 엄청났다고 하는 거구나.
In conclusion, our endeavor brought no achievements. As for the captive from Manus Vindicte, the delirium patient who claims that oracles flowed under his parietal bone, when we asked him how he learns the precise date of the storm, he burst into laughter.
Can't you hear it? Has God left you behind when he spread his grace?
Then he smashed his own skull with a handcuff. Yes, there was no doubt. He was an incurable lunatic. But his insane nonsense was exactly the reason we survived the storm again. No matter how unreasonable or illogical it was, or how much a lie it sounded like. So we'd better believe we shouldn't go out in black today because the fish is swimming in the water. We'd better believe in the existence of the non-physical, everlasting, transcendent world where everyone's soul is a number. We'd better believe in the supreme existence which caused the disorder of time by merely casting its shadow.
와, 이게 과학자라고 해야 되나? 그런 직관의 학문을 하는 사람들한테는 엄청난 절망이었겠는데, 이런 폭풍을 하는 현상이.
That means the life of individuals means nothing more than rubbish, and the world is but an imperfect ruin, where only the chosen ones will pass the trial, where the rest will be eliminated by the rain. How am I supposed to do that? Finally, I made up my mind to write to her. I didn't expect her to answer my questions. All I wanted was to confirm if she had survived that storm. For the sake of our peaceful talk about the rhombus. Yet what I heard from them was a simple announcement of her death.
죽었어.
With only 2 words.
She's dead.
She died. Then it burned and turned to ashes in a second. On the same day, the first and only timekeeper who just took office, the 12-year-old child, returned alone from the storm.
비의 장막 속에서 돌아왔다. 그날이구나. 밖에 애들 뛰어나갔던 그날. 혼자 빗속에서.
She told us the time in the outside world at that point. And that was how I knew she was right.
It is right in front of you.
But if there is a God, why are you playing such a prank on us after we had suffered from the collapse of all the existing orders and the failure of all the great laws? If this is what she calls a glimpse of the supreme existence, the moment of afflatus, do you have to present it in such a cruel way? The last 2 digits in the number of the year after that storm were exactly her name and her number.
(20세기) 후 뒤에 2 자리 숫자가 바로 그녀의 이름, 그녀의 숫자였다.
77.
77. 기록은 여기서 끊겼다. 갈겨쓴 2개의 숫자에서 끝나버렸다.
Incroyable! Incroyable! C'est vrai! Quelqu'un a vraiment fait cette prophétie! Ertin and Soneto will be thrilled to know what we found! Well done, Miss Sotheby! You performed as well as a formal investigator! We need to submit this report to your instructor immediately!
종이를 움켜쥔 마틸다가 잔뜩 흥분한 채 고개를 돌렸다. 그런데 그 자리에 서 있던 건 소더비가 아니었다.
What are you doing in other people's rooms?
얘다! 이 옆머리가 아까 전에 회상에서 나왔던 애들 중에서 이거 플레이어블 캐릭터 같은데라고 내가 말했던 그 친구 같은데? 이 옆머리를 그렇게 섬세하게 그릴 리가 없다고, 모브 캐릭터한테. 그래서 이 녀석 같은데? 상대가 손에 든 자료를 거칠게 빼갔다.
This is my personal item. You have no rights to take it.
누구세요? 아니, 누구세요?
Please leave immediately.
누구세요?
Personal item? This is a precious record that should have been submitted to the Foundation. According to Administration and Regulations for Dispatch Personnel, St. Pavlov Foundation Decree number 259, every member of the Foundation, when acting as a field investigator, is required to create a comprehensive investigation report of all their actions and promptly submit it.
And they are obliged to ensure the authenticity, objectivity, and impartiality of the report. No personal bias is allowed in the content.
맞는 것 같은데? 목소리가 비슷한데, 아까? 그 남자랑?
If you have read this report, miss, you should know that it's not even qualified to be filed.
But this is an emergency!
폭풍우 개혁 법안이 통과된 지 얼마 안 된 탓에 당장 가져다 쓸 만한 규정이 많지 않았다. 규율 보조교사가 반격에 쓸 만한 규정을 찾고자 필사적으로 머리를 굴리는 와중 연구원이 비웃듯 눈썹을 지켜 올렸다.
I can tell from your uniform, you are a student of SPDM or... This is Laplace. Do you have your guardian's approval to leave the school, Miss Underage Student?
교사라고.
Approval? I don't need that. I am not a student. You are talking to the exceptionally promoted monitor assistant of SPDM. Here is my ID.
소더빈 어디 갔어? 마틸다가 기세등등하게 카드를 내밀었다. 그러나 상대는 그대로 마틸다의 옆을 지나쳐 회전 의자에 앉더니 책상 위에 버절 장식품을 만지작거렸다.
Did you just ignore a formal administrator of the foundation? This monitor assistant will report every misbehavior of yours. Every little bit of them.
난처해진 규율보조교사는 사방을 둘러보다 소더비가 옆에 없다는 사실을 깨달았다. 다행히 그녀의 조수는 하나를 가르쳤더니 열을 깨우친 듯했다. 반쯤 열린 문 밖에서 앳된 목소리가 신나게 보고하는 중이었다.
Miss Moisson, we found that report here. The great Miss Buanish and I discovered some important information. I came to you and Madame Z.
바로 높은 사람에게 꼰지르기.
Miss Buanish, why are you confronting Mr. Chair?
소더비가 머리를 갸웃거렸다. 그런 그녀의 뒤로 두 명의 성인 방문객이 서 있었다.
I didn't expect to see the second half of that report here.
왔구나.
Adler.
못 들은 척할 수 없는 목소리였다. 의자가 그들을 향해 천천히 돌아갔다.
Don't call me that, friend. Why not just call me Enigma? Just like everyone else. Relax. I know nicknames mean no harm. But I don't understand. How is a report filled with meaningless words of any concern to you, Madame Z?
여기까지 행차할 정도로 값어치가 있던가?
It provides information about the Arcanist group Virgin is now dealing with. If possible, please give it to me.
Of course. How can I turn down a request from Constantine's chief of staff? Take it away. I hope you don't mind the mold on it.
오, 약간 권력에 떨어져 있는 이 사람인가? 오. 연구원은 의자에서 일어나지도 않은 채 보고서를 옆으로 툭 던졌다. 지는 여전히 날이 서 있는 상대에게 만족스러운 듯 부드러운 미소를 지었다. 하지만 규율 보조교사는 이런 규정 위반 행위를 용납할 수 없었다.
Please pay attention to your manners and do not bring disgrace to the computing center, Mr. Rude.
미스터 푸드. 그 순간 무화상이 마틸다의 어깨를 두드리며 문 밖을 가리켰다.
Ms. Buanish? Ms. Sotheby? You've done a great job. I'm sure what you have found would be of great help to Timekeeper. And I will report your active performance in this mission to SPDM as soon as possible, Ms. Buanish. We need to further analyze the files you found. The first on the scene could provide more detailed information. Let's get out of here.
자연스럽게 애들 내보내네.
Contribution exceptionnelle.
어린 규율 보조교사는 그 단어에 꽂혀봐야 다른 말은 들리지 않는 듯했다.
Oh là là, exceptionnel.
랄라.
No, no. Calme-toi, Mathilda.
Calm down, Mathilda.
I didn't accomplish it alone. Assistant Sotheby also played a significant role. Hooray!
작게 중얼거리는 숙녀의 목소리는 큰 환호성에 묻히고 말았다.
That is to say, Miss Burnish, we can start preparing the balloons and flowers for the twist ball. Speaking of which, this monitor assistant still needs to think about it. By the way, just call me Matilda.
의욕 넘치는 소더비의 팔을 힘겹게 뿌리친 마틸다는 이내 비틀거리며 복도로 향했다. 어린 소녀들은 그렇게 떠들썩하게 자리를 떠났다. 남겨진 어른들의 시간이지 이제. 지도 어렵게 구한 그 보고서를 조심스럽게 챙겼다. 이니그마. 연구원은 회전의자 앞에 놓인 높은 장벽 앞으로 돌아갔다. 늘어놓은 먼지 쌓인 잡동사니를 사이에 두고 그가 천천히 입을 열었다.
There will be no advance in human technology. You think so? Even the Madame Z has given up on the study of theoretical physics and become a politician.
연구를 포기하고 정치에 뛰어들었다잖아. 정치에 뛰어들었잖아.
No. I've never thought of that.
그녀는 보일 듯 말 듯 미소를 지으며 왔던 방향으로 돌아갔었다. 문이 닫혔다. 더머에게서 새로운 항로. 아니 근데 몇 편이나 있는 거야 이거? 특별편이라고 하길래 그냥 짧은 그런 건 줄 알았는데 진짜 몬스터 하나 없이 스토리만 나오는 게 계속. 드디어 새로운 기적 소리가 울려 퍼지기 시작했다. 어쨌든 배에 오르도록 하자. 이러면은 진짜 배 타고 온 거는 그건가? 배 타고 온 거는 우리 팀인 거야? 배는? 잠깐의 소동은 그렇게 막을 내렸다. 그렇게 춥고 그늘진 구석엔 다시 정막이 찾아왔다. 연구원은 한숨을 내쉬며 책상 위에 어질러진 서류와 먼지 묻은 기구를 정리하기 시작했다. 너무 어수선해서 창고로 오해받은 걸까? 문 앞에서 발소리가 울려 퍼졌다.
I am astonished by the fact that you are interacting with others.
누구세요? 또 누군가 동의 없이 불쑥 안으로 들어왔다.
They broke in.
라플라스의 총책임자는 말없이 어깨만 윽쓱였다. 이미 복도에서 필요한 정보는 다 파악한 후였다. 아, 이게 그거구나. 아까 전에 나온 얘기 중에 갑자기 나타난 그것을 위에 앉혀가지고 폭풍 후 그거를 거기에 대한 해법을 찾아 나갔다고 했는데 그게 이거 같은데?
If it was a complaint that you were making, you know it is within your rights to submit an interdepartmental complaint within 7 days after the incident.
Don't bother. That file means nothing to me. I didn't file it because it is a report against the rules. Why bother to submit such a log full of personal feelings and emotional behaviors to our great, rigorous foundation?
앞부분은 왜 남겼는데 그럼?
Is that so?
I am gratified to find that you still have some sense.
I too am gratified that you still have no idea that I was being sarcastic.
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Never mind. What do you want from me, Madam Lucy?
Madame Lucy. 연구원은 허리를 숙인 채 무관심 속에 오랜 시간 방치된 종이들을 줍기 시작했다. 이것이 그가 손님에게 할 수 있는 최대한의 예의였다.
You went all the way to this dusty, rundown place so hurriedly that you even forgot to put on that pathetic mask. This is not because of some...
얼굴 없는 로봇은 그 말에 동의하듯 살짝 고개를 끄덕였다.
Certainly. I hope you can be the cryptographer of the Manus Vindictae's ritual. You are still the best.
최고의 암호학자니까.
You are asking me, a human, to decode the ritual of a pure-blood arcanist group? I don't see how I'll be helpful to this project.
You cannot evaluate your own level of being of value, Adler.
연구원은 고개도 들지 않은 채 먼지 묻은 서류를 책상에 펼쳐놓기만 할 뿐이었다.
Well, you evaluate our value. Test us in experiments you set. Prove the hypotheses by exhaustion. Make mistakes and start all over again. You repeat the process like a roaring locomotive that pulls the research center out of this chaotic disaster.
영원히 실장 안 되겠지, 이 캐릭터는. 마담 D처럼. 열받는구먼.
You question not what is ahead of you, nor whether the path you've taken will be regular or easy. The only idea you planted into your little brain is to move forward, to improve.
Thank you for your compliment. Credit goes to everyone.
That was not even a... Ismirgar. Guess you agree. A life without creativity is not worth living. And that's the life that I wake up to every day. I'll never be able to combine human technology and Arcanum. And I'll never comprehend even the slightest part of it.
마도학이란 걸 전혀 이해할 수 없어.
I am useless to you.
서류를 정리하던 책상에서 거친 소리가 울려 퍼졌다.
I don't expect someone made of tin to understand a human mind. But I beg of you, leave me alone.
하지만 로봇은 격양된 그 말을 들은 척도 안 했다.
The work of analyzing the masks of Manus Vindictae did not go well. A side effect occurs in the researchers, and it is getting worse. The isolation wards on the basement level are overwhelmed.
분석하다가 다들 미쳐가는 건가 지금?
What a scene. Have you aborted the experiment?
Not yet. We have conducted the Arcanum imaging experiment on the masks, and found a component which also exists in the raindrops of the storm. But knowing what it is composed of does not help explain how it works. What we're looking for is the original ritual that the Manus cast on them.
You are trying to figure out one's career planning from one's physical examination report. I wonder why it is not working. Even if somehow you manage to find the original ritual, you still need a proper environment to test it, which is the outside world with a coming storm.
총기 어린 연구원의 눈빛엔 비웃음이 가득했다.
That's why we can't tell if we're getting results. Even if we had the right ritual, proper permission from the Foundation to travel, and strong-minded volunteer subjects. Experiments performed in the Ivory Tower won't succeed because...
An experiment about the storm can only be done in a storm. Glad to see your brain is not rusty yet. It only took you 3 sentences to draw the conclusion which took the seminar a week to reach. That proves you are capable of the project.
일 해야겠지? 총책임자가 문서 하나를 책상 위에 내려놓았다.
The history maintenance team has forecast different critical points of this storm.
역사 보존
Foundation
팀에서
investigators are on their way.
얘 이번에 중섭에 추가되는 아니야? 그 오페라 하는 검은머리 어둠 속성 여자 하고 얘가 이번에 추가되는 것 같은데, 그럼 얘는 그 앞 버전에 나오는 애인가? 이 친구는 뒷 버전에 나오는 지금 중국 제일 최신 그 버전에 나오는 애고.
If Manus Vindicte still plans to accelerate the storm, like what they have done in 1929, there will be a high possibility that their people will show up at the transformation point of history and society, also known as the critical point of time, the center of the storm.
폭풍의 중심에서 다시 나타날
Your sister, Greta Hoffman, is also one of the investigators.
누나구나 이쪽이.
I have no interest in any Hoffmans other than myself. We have different perspectives.
It is okay. I am just here to inform you that if any of the investigators successfully send the information of the ritual back, the research about the immunity of the storm will be conducted immediately.
폭풍 면역 연구.
Take your time and be mentally prepared. But once the storm alert is issued, we only have 24 hours to verify the feasibility of the ritual. I wish you will be fully prepared by then.
그녀는 그 어떤 거절의 여지도 남기지 않고 단호한 걸음으로 자리를 떠났다. 연구원의 시선이 그 문서로 향했다. 문서 제일 위에 있는 사진에는 익숙한 얼굴이 있었다. 그는 서랍을 열어 찢어진 페이지를 꺼냈다. 아직 제출하지 않은 마지막 암호였다.
One thing is for sure now. The age of humans has come to an end.
인류의 시대는 이미 끝나버렸다는 것을. The end. 오, 특별편. 설정이 야미한걸? 문 열어. 아니 근데 애플 코인을 어디서 이렇게 다 모아? 응?
Good time. A truly
개같이 끌어모아도
marvelous
이것밖에 없는데.
hypothesis. I hope the margin is
드디어
wide.
하나.
Congratulations. There are only a very limited number of them in the
개만
warehouse.
더도. 아니 하드 초회를 해도 200개밖에 안 주는데 어디서 파밍할 지역이 있는 것도 아니고. 뭐지? 어디서 해야지 수축의 블랙박스를 다 털어먹을 수
Truly
있는 거지?
marvelous
이거 막
hypothesis.
30번 40번씩
I hope the
돌려야 되는데
margin is
지금.
wide enough to contain its demonstration.
어디서 주는 거냐? 여기냐? 증명의 게시? 아직 눌러보진 않았지만. 아니 가만 있어봐. 캬. 이야, 딱 30칸 넣어주네. 고작 30칸. 크게 짜고 싶은데 마음처럼 안 되는구만. 크게 짜면은 너무 자리가 부족해. 여기 중심으로 좀 작게 리뉴얼 해야 되나? 이번 거 얻은 뒤에 생각을 해보자.
Nice. Nice.
누구세요? 동굴 속의 죄에서 메인 스토리는 여기까지인가. 딱 흥미진진한 부분에서 끊어져가지고 어떻게 될지 모르겠네. 6장에서 아마 이 섬이랑 관련된 거는 6장까지 하고, 그리고 7장이 나올 때, 7장이나 8장이 나올 때 그쪽 얘기가 나오겠지? 그 파견됐다는 아들러의 누나랑 그쪽 무리랑 관련된 그거는 기대가 되는구만. 이후 스토리도. 여기서 아무튼 동굴 속의 죄수는 스토리 종료.